Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 6. I'm SP Revolution 5 at Truesight TV, bringing you this game that was very last minute. I was actually in a pub when I found out this game was happening, but managed to make it into the lobby for Isurus up against Piñones Interesantes Serios, which I'm going to be calling PIS. No, wait. Wow. Let's not call them that, okay? Let's call them PIS. Let's just call them PIS. PIS. Like the S is a Z. That would probably be a lot more better in general. Anyways, as you can see, these teams are already adjusting to the new meta, and in case you haven't heard, if you've been away for a little while, 6.84 is live and thriving. As there are also a thriving mess of cords below my chair. And that's probably an understatement, actually. As I'm going to try to situate myself here so I can get up close and personal to the game.
10 seconds remaining.
As you can tell, I'm very neat and organized in this college dorm room. But let's go ahead and talk about some picks and bans. We do see Undying banned out by Isurus first, followed by a Spirit Breaker. Centaur, War Runner, and Earthshaker are the pickups for Piñones. Wisp and Storm getting the ban out. Now some would say, well, Storm just got nerfed. You don't need to ban Storm. Yeah, you do need to ban Storm because of this boy right here. DDX on the enemy team. You have to ban out Storm against this guy. If you don't, let's just go ahead and say you're going to regret it. Zeus and Winter Wyvern, though, are the pickups for Isurus Gaming. They're afraid of the Undying, and I can't blame them. I've yet to lose a pub on the new patch with Undying. And I think I've played 6 as him. Let me just see. I actually wonder what my overall win rate with him is. Okay, my overall win rate is only 52%, but if I change this to patch 6.84, it's 100% over 7 matches. The hero's a bit strong, let's just go ahead and say. Making him, I'm not going to say first pick, first ban material, but let's just go ahead and say phase 1 draft material. Spirit Breaker getting the ban out. And they are going to have a Visage and Skywrath ban in the second phase. Visage is another one of those heroes who got a pretty big buff. The fact that now you have to attack the familiars a couple times so they don't die to axe spins, they don't die to bristleback. Same with Undying, of course. And again, Isurus don't want to play against that. They're building around a bit of a magic damage strat. A little bit of anti-carry. We will see Spectre and Alk getting banned out by Piñones. And DDX, without that Storm Spirit, we're going to have to see a different side of him. However, he does have many different sides, and he's quite a talented player as well. If you've never seen this guy play, you will be in for a treat. And excuse me for snacking during the broadcast, but sometimes that's just what you got to do. But it will be a Viper. On the side of PIS. And it'll be DDX Invoker here. A hero he has not played in a while, if I'm not mistaken. At least I don't think so. Also, later tonight, we'll have Fail QQ up against Macus. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern, if I'm reading this right, so that's 2 hours and 15 minutes from right now. We'll probably have those two back-to-back.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And I'll see if I can't wrangle a co-caster together for that.
Reserve time.
Now, Isurus did take a level 1 penalty to their reserve time, so they lost 30 seconds of it, but as you can see, they haven't had to use any right now. While Piñones have needed to. They're sitting on a lot right now. Very tanky heroes on their side. Very solid team fight, I think. And a Slark to finish this off could be very nice. They're going to need another support. And I think they need something ranged. Not necessarily with a hard stun. But a hard stun wouldn't be bad. They're going to need to react, though, to Isurus' last couple picks. These three heroes, you don't see a lot of, okay, let's pick this up. But it is going to be Clockwork for Dolce, it looks like, in the offlane. That'll be extremely fun to see. Invoker and Clockwork synergizing very well with long-range spells and a good chunk of synergy. If you can lock someone down in cogs, you can use Invoker's EMP to drain their mana. And while I don't know what build we'll see out of ZDX today, we have seen the Wexort build out of him in the past, Quatswex as well, so it'll be exciting to see there. They will ban out the Ursa Bear, seeing as Isurus, I think they need a physical damage dealer with this last pick. And we'll see what they decide to pick up with it.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Wouldn't be too surprised to see them ban out even Lion or Venge here. Rubik would be a very nasty pickup here for them as well, seeing as there's lots of good steals. Maybe a more aggressive support, but the Dazzle will do just fine, and this was another one of my considerations. Not giving them quite as much lockdown, but definitely giving them a lot of armor, a lot of physical damage as well, and a hero who can zone Clockwork out very well with his extended range in the lane, so... we will see what the final pickup for Isurus will be. Anti-Mage
5 seconds remaining.
could be.
Reserve time.
I'm not really seeing it coming right away, though. Medusa's an option, although against Viper and Slark, you don't really want to see that. Alchemist could have been an option, but I don't think they'll... I mean, they can't pick it now. I really don't think they'll pick it now, because it's been banned out, obviously. 20 seconds to go. What's it going to be for Isurus? Spectres out of the pool. Naga could be possible. But they're actually going to go with the Bloodseeker for Isurus. Okay. Now, this is going to be some Dota. Lots of area damage, a good pickup against Slark. Not necessarily a fantastic pickup against Dazzle, just due to the fact that Dazzle has Grave. But can still work very well. I've been playing a bit of Bloodseeker before the patch hit, and I was pretty successful in pubs with a Dagon build. And before you say, okay, well, you're probably just for MMR, and that's why it was good, because Dagon is a bad item, it was really working. The idea is, okay, I would get Brown Boots, Blade Mail, Dagon.
10 seconds.
If you don't get the Dagon before about the 18-minute mark, you're not going to be able to do it. But it's an item to let you snowball. You use the Blood Rage on yourself to give yourself that extra boost of damage, and it looks like they have lost their hero or captain or whatever now there. And real quick, just to make sure I have room for my VODs. I'm going to get rid of that. And a big shout out to all you guys coming out to the channel. This is Truesight TV. I'm SP Revolution 5, otherwise known as Revo. bringing you basically 4 back-to-back games. Here for the Join Dota League. We do have some disconnects, of course, coming out from PIS. Lists Ferdinand as well as Iterato are going to be missing at the moment. I don't know if Iterato is a stand-in or not, but don't laugh at the Bloodseeker, Dagon. It is pretty legitimate, in my opinion. Anyways, waiting on the game to get underway. Sorry about the pause, gaming. It is, of course, South American Dota. And excited to bring this. In terms of lineup, we do have, let's remember back here, a Viper and a Dazzle here on PIS. Dazzle Slark is a very potent combination. But I do want to point out the global potential of Isurus. They have a lot of long-range damage. The Zeus, the Invoker, the Clockwork. And then Bloodseeker, well, his buffs in 6.84 were mainly focused around Thirst. What it used to do is when you get down to somewhere around, what was it? Well, when you got down to 0%, you actually gave Bloodseeker all of the bonuses. The problem is, when you're at 0%, you're dead. And if you're at 2%, you might as well be dead. So it was very rare that Bloodseeker would get his bonuses from this. Now, it goes down to 25%, and then that's the max bonus. But previously, when all of the heroes were at 75%, or were at 25%, he would only get 75% of his bonus. Now, if all the heroes in the enemy team are at 25%, he gets all of the bonuses. That's 40 move speed per hero, 40 bonus damage per hero, which is ridiculous. To say the least. And we're going to try to get an estimated time of arrival here for PIS, or PIS. Trying not to call them PIS, because, you know, that's not really polite or their name. Let's go ahead and say. Hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast so far, though. I don't have much to talk about, of course, seeing as there's not much that's gone on at all. He's reconnecting right now. And again, very sorry for you guys that there's not any excitement going on at the moment. I have no words. Apparently he's reconnecting, and reconnecting can now mean that you're taking forever to reconnect as well. Let's just check the ping. Just see. Yeah, we've got really high pings for pretty much everybody. I mean, I've got 200 because, well, US East to... So I'm assuming our... Whoa. Thank you for that random noise. Scare the crap out of me, why don't you, game? But that's fine. I'm assuming we're on the South America server, which would be Brazil mainly. But I don't have any real way of confirming that at the moment. Again, very sorry for the wait here. Not much we can do, but wait. As now we've got 2 disconnects. Not in the game, 2 disconnects. There's 3 in the game still for this team, but definitely a problem we're all familiar with. Having a connection. What? What? Okay. Centaur wants to go 3v5. Surely a phenol misclick, right? I hope so. For those of you on the VOD, I'm going to pause the VOD right now so it's not 3 hours long. And we'll resume when the game resumes. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Truesight TV, bringing you PIS up against Isurus. It's gonna be Papita on the Bloodseeker, the Bluatsuka. Wow, I said that completely wrong. The Bluatsuka. Up in the top lane, played by Papita, of course. Fullback will be on your Winter Wyvern in the top lane. Supporting him, DDX, the mid laner extraordinaire. On Invoker, Nadara will be playing the Zeus. And in the bot lane, there he is, Dulcimania on the Clockwork. On the other side of the river, we're going to have PIS, played by Corpse Party. Or I'm assuming we'll just call him Corpse Party. With the Slark. Iterato will be on your Viper. We've got Kira Webb. Oh, I know. Alright, check out. I'm assuming he's sponsored by his mother. That's why it says me mama. List Ferdinand will be on the Dazzle. And we have Jordan on the Centaur Warrunner. And I am just making sure. Yep, we are recording locally. We are good to go. Stream is live. Thank you guys all for coming out as the game is resuming right now. And a big shout out to all of you for your support. I'm SP Revolution 5 with Truesight TV. Let's get this game underway. Overall, in terms of lineup, I am really liking Isurus' draft, of course. We have the ult coming out from Zeus to give him that Truesight, give him that extra speed boost for the Bluatsuka. Invoker lining up Sunstrikes all day with Bloodseeker's vision that'll come with the low health. And then Clockwork able to help even secure more kills with Rocket Flare and eventually Hookshot. However, if things go badly for them in the early game, we could see PIS start to get some pickups as Jordan actually will get hit by the Winter Wyvern. A nice use of Blood Rage here just to harass him out very early in the game, and fullback going to get a lot of damage done to him at the same time. However, he's a support. He's got lots of tangos to work with. Bloodseeker could even Blood Rage him up and help him out there. Jordan will have to pop his salve to survive in this lane right now. Corpse Party in a bit of trouble up against Dolce, and actually is going to get hit by these incredibly large power cogs. Those are the Clockmaster's power cogs. Very nice. We do already have the... No, we don't have a stack in the small camp. It's in the medium camp instead. for them. And up top, we've got Nadara, who has already stacked this up. He has gotten 1 point into the lightning bolt just to get that extra true sight, excuse me, and whatnot. Actually, the hard camp is blocked off right now, and I'm not 100% sure why or how. It wasn't done by Isurus. And ArchaeaDota will actually eat a right click from Invoker. DDX going for the very early Sunstrike build once again. And actually Clockwork will block one of these stacks, and I believe he just blocked both of them. He may lead them to believe there's a ward placed down here. Not 100% sure about that for sure. Anyways, it's Peru up against Argentina in a 2-game series. We'll have a Peru v Peru show match. Not show match, but game right after this with Macus up against FailQQ. Of course, all that brought to you by Truesight TV. Fullback, once again, throwing out the Arctic Breath with the buff from Bloodseeker. It'll do quite a bit, but it's not quite enough to force Jordan out of lane this time, seeing as he was standing farther back, and Winter Wyvern doesn't have boots, whereas I believe Centaur has been able to pick those up, yeah. Once he gets his Tranquil Boots, he should be just fine in this lane, taking XP. Ferdinand, though, gonna get caught in a cogs here, and hit with a Sunstrike. First Blood, going over to Dulcimania on the bot lane, and an excellent start for the Clockwork. Usually, against a tri-lane, there is pretty much nothing he can do, but he's able to find a kill here, and he's actually gonna lead these creeps away over here to, I'm assuming, the stack that he's found? No, he's taking him all the way back, it looks like. And this will pressure the tower even more, force Slark to tank some creeps. He does have that stout shield, but he's trying to go for a Midas here, and you don't want to go for Midas under a lot of early pressure. Fullback will get a hit or two off on Jordan here. I think he'll get a third, actually a fourth as well. Getting a lot of damage off with that Arctic Burn. And this is an excellent hero that's just there to keep Pepita safe. Anytime they come forward, just pop Arctic Burn, get in his face, he has to back off. Because if he's low health, Bloodseeker's getting that much more advantage. This is a very smart lane from them. And now I can see that Isurus kind of had the Bloodseeker in their pocket from the beginning. The only real downside to picking him is the Dazzle. And the fact that he does want to chase, and you're not going to be able to chase up against a Viper very well. However, they do have the utility of the Invoker and the Clockwork to work with here. So they're looking to snowball off of their hopefully good start here and make an impact on the game that way. PIS, though, ready to rock and roll, as they do have the phase boots up on Bloodseeker. Jordan actually going to get harassed out again. No amplified damage here for fullback. Actually, he does get one or two hits off with it, and the Sunstrike will connect. DDX, picking up the team's second kill, does get taken down on the mid lane by Iterato, but he's going to take a bit of a meatball, and actually Dazzle there to heal him up. Nadara is nearby, and could have a lightning bolt to work with. They haven't spotted him out just yet here. And Invoker going to be respawning soon. They will not have Sunstrike readily available. And actually, he's stayed just out of vision until right now, where DDX will actually move forward. The Sunstrike will not connect, actually, even though they can still see him. So, a bit early on the movement from Nadara there. Would have liked to see him sit back a little while longer to stay out of vision and in the fog of war, but there will be a salve brought out to the Viper. He's going to be going straight for that mech. It's going to be an excellent item to burst heal up against a Bloodseeker who wants to fight very early on. And an ult out from Viper onto DDX. DDX taking a lot of damage. Will actually throw out the Sunstrike right now. And may come back in. Dolce has his shock going. I'm not really sure why, but Jordan actually getting hit right now. Arctic Burn won't do too much damage with him. He does get hit by that Zeus Bolt, and Dolce trying to find the distance. He doesn't have Battery Assault. That's what it's called. I don't know why I was trying to call it something else. Off of cooldown, and therefore he's not going to be able to secure that kill just yet. Invoker, I'm assuming, working on a Midas here. ZDX actually will get hit by a Fissure. Will throw out a Sunstrike at least, but it won't be enough to bring down Iterato. who manages to juke it and actually is only 200 gold away from his buckler as well, sitting about 1,000 gold from the mechanism itself. Clockwork doing okay, but he's definitely not going to survive long just sitting in this lane against Viper. Pop an illusion room from his bottle right now. Meanwhile, Slark is basically being left to free farm as he's got 2,200 gold at the moment. It could go for the Midas, could just go straight for something like a Silver Edge, which is kind of the big pickup on Slark. You're going to stop seeing Blink Dagger Slark these days now. It's going to be Silver Edge. I can go ahead and tell you, because that item is too good. And as we can already see, he's picking up the Shadow Amulet. He could have a 9-minute Shadow Blade already complete on Slark, which would be incredibly good, even against the Bloodseeker. And you're definitely going to need to be farmed against the Bloodseeker. If you went for Midas here, I don't think you'd have a very fun mid-game in general. Darshamania popping the Battery Assault and actually will cog up Cura Web. They don't have a way to get in there right now, as actually it'll come out that way. A Sunstrike coming out on the Slark. He will pop the ulti and hope to make it out, but I believe they can finish him off. In fact, a rocket will help do the job, and DDX cleaning up the kill there. Now, Zeus does go down on the mid lane to Isurus, who is doing very well for himself. Only 400 gold from that mechanism now. And I believe he would be second, at least, in terms of net worth. So doing pretty well, but not quite perfectly here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As Bloodseeker is dominating the board. He's gotten a boatload of last hits. 61 to 28 here for last hits and denies. Sunstrike actually takes down Viper on the mid lane as Clockwork comes in with a Haste Rune and a Cogs as well. So, and of course, we do have another disconnect. We would play the South American Dota drinking game where every time the game is paused, you take a shot, but I don't want to send anyone to the hospital. So far, though, Isurus' draft working very well for them. In fact, Bloodseeker already sitting on phase boots. They're already reconnected, though. Thank goodness, too. Because if I'm going to cast 2 games after this, I kind of need the first one to be able to finish at about the right time. The first series, I mean.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Sorry for my snacking.
Radiant's middle
Once again, I'm a hungry boy. I'm growing still. At 21 years old. Clockwork activating himself a bounty rune. Gonna be sitting in the secret shop for at least a moment here. And actually, he will come in with that hook shot right now. Takes him down, and Dolcemania now on a killing spree. And he has 1,800 in the bank. He could easily go for a Midas of his own if he wants.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I'd prefer him to pick up the early Blade Mail, but to each their own. Of course, he can go Midas into Blade Mail because Isurus have a pretty decent late game draft. They've got a lot of damage on all of their heroes. Winter Wyvern definitely not falling off in terms of utility. Maybe in terms of HP, but not nearly as much in terms of utility. And of course, Invoker in the late game is just going to be utterly ridiculous. He'll pick up a TP. Yep, 2 TPs right about now. And Earthshaker actually picking up an Invis rune as Clockwork is a little mystified as to where that rune went. But there is already a 10-minute Shadow Blade up on the Slark. No boots yet, but Slark definitely going to be able to do a lot with the Shadow Blade, especially when he builds it into an eventual Silver Edge. We can assume, at least. Dolce, though, he actually is faking the hook shot. He doesn't know Earthshaker's here, but he's making it look like he does. And actually, Corpse Party gonna look to jump on him. They see him just messing around with the hook shot, and he's a bit distracted right now, so he'll get jumped on. And actually could turn around here with the hook shot. Isn't enough. He actually is gonna hook shot himself out. The Cold Embrace from Winter Wyvern, able to save his life here. Beautifully done, as he was basically dead up until then. Sunstrike coming out from the Invoker. It's gonna be off the mark, though, as Centaur manages to evade it, thanks to the move speed from those Tranquils. Clockwork is picking up a Midas right now, so he is going to look to take it late game with the rest of the team. Alright. I am done snacking. Bloodseeker picking up the Blade Mail at just before 12 minutes. Which again, is going to be very useful for himself, as Slark is the only real BKB carrier, and right now Slark wants to go for that Silver Edge, as he'll actually get ruptured, hit with an Arctic Burn and more on the bot lane, but will make it home alive despite their attempts. They actually used, well, I think 2 ults actually, as Clockwork did not use his. He used it up top for some reason. But Winter Wyvern and Bloodseeker, of course, expending their ults to try and kill him off. Bloodseeker will pick up that Blade Mail right now. And at this point with Bloodseeker, you can pretty much go for anything you want. I mentioned Dagon as an option very early on in the draft. I'd also, of course, say that there are other options for obvious reasons. As, well, Slark would be getting out here. He actually will mech up and get into vision once again, which won't let him heal up. Dolce, he is immune to physical damage at the moment. Arctic Burn coming out, but it's not going to be enough to save him, as they do take him down with Viper here. Now, Viper will stop moving, but they will juke the Sunstrike just a little bit. DDX coming in with the WWE Alacrity Smackdown coming through there. And actually a Grave and a Salve to keep Isurus up. No Sunstrike available from Invoker at the moment. And that'll be an okay engagement for PIS right now. We are seeing Bloodseeker and Invoker dominate the net worth chart, as Isurus have got a 5k lead about right now. An XP lead of 5k as well. So, really putting on the pressure early on here. And it's not going to let up. Some of the other night, Turbo called it a pressure strat with Zeus Night Stalker, and that's basically what we're seeing here, except without the Night Stalker. Bloodseeker does have his Blade Mail up. Jordan is dropping low and can't really move, as he will get taken down. A Fissure coming out from the Earthshaker. Hook shot forward from Clockwork that actually does manage to grab the Dazzle here, who's already dead. Isurus throwing out the Viper Strike. No Blade Mail available from the Clockwork, seeing as he is not elected to go for it. And he will fall, but that's a killing spree for Pepita on the other side of the fight, as he picks off the Earthshaker and has 1,600 in the bank right now, just about 2 minutes after he picked up that Blade Mail. This is the way you want your Bloodseeker to go. He wants to get fat quickly. He wants to make a huge impact. And he's actually going to find a beautiful stack here. And they're pinging it out saying, yes, Centaur, there's a stack there. I think they're more saying, this is probably where Bloodseeker is. As he'll get jumped on right now, will barely have time to throw off the Blade Mail. A Sunstrike comes through and does not connect. And Slark ending the Bloodseeker's killing spree. That's a pretty big kill for him. He'll get 500 some gold off of that. Bloodseeker losing about 300. As well, he has picked up a Stout Shield. I think I want to say he already had this, and he's going to dispose of it to make room for the TP, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me. Do have 1,500 up for the Slark. He can definitely make some big progress on that Silver Edge right now. However, he's still sitting behind the Invoker and the Bloodseeker by a reasonable margin. About 400 behind the Invoker and another 1,000 behind the Bloodseeker. Invoker, speaking of which, has a Blink Dagger picked up, going to give him that extra range he needs to initiate well. So we're going to see Lis Ferdinand on the run. They do throw down a sentry, or an observer and a sentry over here, just to D-ward and make sure there's no, none of those pesky lane wards that sit around right here, just to see if nobody's near the tower. Those wards are becoming increasingly effective in most of the games I've seen.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Zeus ult just pump faked there by Isurus. He is going to throw it out now just to get the vision and see some heroes TPing as Dolce will actually take down the Centaur. They'll go ahead and rupture the Viper, who is going to be falling here pretty much. Attack animation canceling going on brutally, and I'm honestly surprised they didn't just go ahead and attack the Bloodseeker. He'll get a double kill, and he's going for the Dazzler now, who does have a Grave. He'll think twice and say, you know what, probably not worth it. 3k in the bank, though. This could easily be like a straight Eagle song at the moment. It could be a Radiance as well. Radiance, being more of a fighting item, actually I think is a buff to Bloodseeker Radiance, which is an old build from when the heal from Blood Rage used to be just a passive. But now, if you have Blood Rage on, which keep in mind it has no mana cost, its cooldown and its duration are overlapping once it's level 2, at least. Well, they're even when it's level 2, and they're overlapping at levels 3 and 4. You're going to get a lot out of that, but he will go for the Shadow Blade, another big ganking item, and it's only taken him, let's keep in mind, 5 minutes to get that 3k gold. That's 600 gold per minute, easy for him, leading to his overall 493 GPM. That is outstanding, and it's only rising, seeing as they've only been able to kill him off once, and he's getting lots of kills in the meantime. DDX in a bit of a Roche Pit, yep, as he's going to be going after the big cuddly guy. We'll use his illusions to tank it up quite well, and Alacrity, of course, being used to do extra damage. Nice jukes with the Blink Dagger as well. And you can see right here, the Forge Spirit's going to come off just in time. They're going to be able to do a lot as well. Zeus ult just put out, I believe, to discourage them from jumping on it mid, as well as making sure Invoker's safe in the Roche Pit. And the Radiant team doesn't seem to have a clue at the moment. They actually will spot out this Observer Ward that probably should have spotted him, but I believe he may have blinked into the pit, and therefore he will be just fine. He'll be taking down this Roche very soon. There's a Regen Rune right outside the pit waiting for him as well. And now, well, the ward's down, so they're not going to realize it. They'll pick up the Aegis. He'll grab the Regen Rune as well, as Clockwork actually activating a haste and going after the bot tower to take it down. He is sitting on a Force Staff as well as a Cloak. Now, there has been a nerf to Glimmer Cape, and someone with Clockwork's mana pool, it may not be that enticing on. It now has 135 mana cost, whereas previously it was no mana. And I will say that nerf seems a little harsh. Well, Glimmer Cape was kind of OP. Kind of OP. It was pretty OP. Let's be real here. Speaking of the Glimmer Cape, though, Centaur. That's going to be his item of choice for initiation over the Blink Dagger. Personally, I don't think this is a good replacement for Blink Dagger, just because, first of all, Blink Dagger doesn't get countered by Sentry Wards. Second of all, Blink Dagger doesn't get countered by Dust. Third of all, Blink Dagger's instant. And that's the biggest thing, I think. It's just the fact that you can say, boom, Blink Dagger, here I am, come at me. Not like, okay, let's give it a second. Okay, use the Glimmer Cape, walk in. Oh, they're gone now? Well, yeah, and that can be a serious problem. Corpse Party, though, does have his Silver Edge complete before 20 minutes, I'm assuming, unless he just randomly came across a money bag worth 700 gold or so. And Bloodseeker, I believe, is picking his up right now. Yep. So, it's Battle of the Silver Edge. Silver versus Silver. Who will win? Well, the one with more gold, I guess. Liz Ferdinand gonna try to get away here, but won't be able to TP thanks to Dolce Mania, who, well, they will just stun him up a little more. Not really sure the Wyvern ult was necessary there, but it can get the job done, I guess.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, I hope you guys are enjoying the cast.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Trying to bring it to you guys the best I can. It is a solo cast, so it's not my favorite to bring to you, but hey, when my co-casters are missing, and also I get about 5 minutes notice on the match, thanks to JDL, it's the best I can do, so. Jordan actually getting a jump on Nadara here, charge forward, they'll be able to take him down. He did Soul Ring trying to get something off, but actually a nice hook shot in on 2, Cogs off on 3, they will throw off a Grave onto the Dazzle, a bit selfish from him. He actually goes ahead, and Glimmer Capes managing to take down the Dazzle nonetheless. Bloodseeker, with the silence coming in right now, he's actually completely invisible, and he's going to go right after Slark. A big chop from that Silver Edge, and Slark's just like, okay, see you later, bro. Not going to fight this. They do get a sentry down there, and unfortunately for fullback, he is stuck on the cliff. I'm assuming thanks to Arctic Burn, he'll slip his way out of there at the moment. Dazzle, meanwhile, buying more wards. Unfortunately, there's already a sentry down here and an observer down as well. They'll be able to tell if somebody comes near there. Slark should realize, okay, there's something fishy here. They can see me, but he probably thinks it's elsewhere, as they actually will grab the Slark. Sentry wards coming down galore. He will get mech'd and ult himself up. Bloodseeker silence coming out just to prevent them from engaging, but Liss, he walks into it. A big ice splinter coming out and dominating spree from DDX's Invoker over here on the side, which is basically Quas Exort with an early point in Wex to help with that Alacrity, which is helping him out right now to hopefully finish off Jordan, who needs to stop moving. He is okay for now, but Pepita can see him. However, Pepita going to get jumped on. They will throw out a heal onto him, and it looks like Jordan might just be okay. Blade Mail coming out from Pepita. They can see him. Is there a Sunstrike? No, there is not a Sunstrike available. He's still visible, though. He's trying to juke the Sunstrike because he's terrified of it. Meanwhile, they'll just go for top lane, hoping to take down this tower. Bloodseeker to heal himself up with some quick creeps here as well. And it'll be useful. Actually, a hook shot off the mark there. Slark throwing out the Silver Edge onto Clockwork, who now isn't going to do much damage for a few seconds. And a Zeus Bolt coming out as well. They're just dominating this map right now. If you take a look at the Radiant team's vision, they can see nothing, whereas the Dire team can see pretty much everything. Taking a look at items, we're going to see Slark still sitting on this Silver Edge. He has picked up Treads and 1200 in the bank, but not much else to go along with it. Jordan working on a Force Staff, I can assume. Maybe just a straight Scepter. However, I don't see him getting that done in any reasonable time, so it'll be interesting to see what he goes for. This is still just game 1 of a best-of-2 series. Or, not a best-of-2, a 2-game series, excuse me. And, should be pretty interesting. Actually, Bloodseeker just coming in here kills Centaur off before the Fade Time can even activate. And I believe that was mainly because of Thirst. Dolce, I'm sorry, bro, but with your ping here, how in the world are you justifying faking out that hook shot constantly? If you lag at all, you'll pull a Blap2, and Blap2 being my Peruvian buddy who is always animation canceling, and then there's that one time where he wastes his ult as Magnus, and we're like, Blap2, really? Really, bro? Nadar, though, in the meantime, already has a Perseverance up. I'm assuming this is going to be a refresher. Just to give Bloodseeker a little extra speed boost. And Dolce already working on the Ags, in fact. We'll have it in another 2K-ish gold. You know what they say, Ben 10, Isurus 0. Well, Isurus is looking very dominant. Up against a win your lanes, win the game kind of draft from PIS. They have sentry wards everywhere on this map. I mean, they're just not taking any chances. They do throw down a ward there, and suddenly Jordan realizes, hey, I'm not under my ult anymore. Something's wrong. Fullback going to use the flight just to get himself away from some, well, a hero and a couple creeps here. The other thing, though, is the Isurus know they can bide their time. Meanwhile, Zeus picking up the bounty rune. Clockwork with an illusion was in the bottle, was already used here. And it is going to be Lotus Orb coming up for Nadara, which should be pretty good. I don't believe... The only thing it will really block is Viper ult and Poison Touch. However, those are going to be pretty critical. In fact, throwing a Viper ult right back at Viper could really ruin his day. Of course, Clockwork with the Glimmer Cape. If he didn't have this bottle, I'd say the Glimmer Cape is relatively useless, since he's not going to be able to spam it as much as he'd like. But with the bottle, it's working perfectly fine, as he's only about 1100 gold out from that Aghanim Scepter, and then he's going to really start spamming. 28 minutes into the game, 9-19 your scoreboard, as there has been a kill a minute this game. Even though we had quite a long pause at the beginning, where pretty much nothing happened since the game was paused. Are going to see a silence out from the Bloodseeker onto Iterato. And Invoker, well, bringing in the cavalry here, as he's got himself a level 3 Necrobook. Is going for either Bloodstone or Octarine Core. Would like to actually see that item in action on an Invoker. It's actually Earthshaker. Will get wrecked right there already. Papita with the BKB, not taking any damage, basically. He will get Slark pushed back down by the cogs. Dazzle going down within them. 2 buybacks coming out. Centaur still holding on to his. He's going to spend it right now, and they've actually baited out 4 buybacks. One of them actually being the Bloodseeker, who, well, he'll be back across the map in no time at all, basically. And I'm pretty sure Isurus can fight this. They are going to throw out a Ice Wall as well as lose fullback in the process. But Bloodseeker back in the fight. He'll basically one-hit the Dazzle. And this is where this hero gets very scary. There was a Blade Mail coming out as well. Slark going to buy back too. As Kira Webb under some damage. They will back off here. Nice fissure by him, keeping them out. But the bot racks are still under attack. In fact, the melee barracks are sitting at 60 HP. Make that 20. And the Siege Creep will finish him off. Iterato too distracted by the Forge Spirit to notice there was a pretty decent sized catapult, excuse me, working on his racks. Still a enormously important fight for Isurus Gaming, as they will send Dolce back to the base for now. But keep in mind, he has an Invis rune and an Aghanim Scepter, and they just want to close out this game. Solar Crest actually picked up on the Wyvern, which will do a lot against Slark. I'm unsure of if he can purge it off or not. But it'll also do a lot against Roshan. That's Roche Gonna feel a little hazy, maybe. Miss a couple of attacks here and there. GDX gonna go after Roshan. They actually throw the ult out on Slark. Because Clockwork, well, he's being a bit pesky, as Jordan will go down up top. And Dolce just walking away. Do have an Octarine up on Invoker, as well as Bloodseeker picking up an Aegis off of this. And I think if they could see that, I mean, they probably have seen at this point these items. Keep in mind, Octarine Core going to give Invoker 5% lifesteal on spells against creeps, 25% up against heroes, and a 25% cooldown reduction as well. Which, I'll be honest, is pretty ridiculous. They're going to give that creep a lot of extra armor and a bit of extra evasion as well. And then heal it up. That creep is MVP right now for them. They're not going to let it die, and it will indeed have served its purpose. But Pepita with the Blade Mail, able to turn a lot of damage around on Teratau, forces him to pop the mech as well as the BKB. Pepita going in, BKB'd up, still has that Aegis to work with. They'll take down 2, take down 3, make it a quad kill if they can find one of the 2 more. Actually, they will bring down Teratau for that, and only Slark stands here. They do buy back on the Viper, basically forced to, but keep in mind, Bloodseeker still has his second life available. That Aegis has not been used just yet. They do get up the Centaur, who's going to charge in. He'll evade the Bloodseeker silence just barely. And a Stomp coming out. They'll bring down Bloodseeker, but keep in mind that's just the Aegis. Going down, Jordan still alive. Slark going to fall. No buyback for him. Teratau in a lot of trouble as well. And GG well played is called by Liz Ferdinand. We'll be going over to game number 2 between Isurus and PIS later. Or not later, in just a moment here actually. I'm SP Revolution 5 for Truesight TV. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow Truesight on Facebook at Truesight TV, Twitter at Truesight TV, Twitch at Truesight TV. You seeing a pattern here yet? And you can check out our YouTube as well. We really appreciate the support. Isurus looking very dominant in game number 1 with a nice snowball strat that got ahead and stayed ahead. PIS, well, they need to do a little better next game. Dazzle going 0-8, Earthshaker 0-6. They need to get supports that are going to be a little more active around the map, be able to do a little bit more. Anyways, we'll be right back with that game. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the music while you wait.